Hey guys, welcome back to another flashlight review. And today I'm going to be looking at the new Rovivon E30 Pro. This is one of those flat style flashlights, and I do have a few of these already, and I know there's quite a bunch of them out in the market these days, but this one I think is a little bit different, and it's a light that combines multiple EDC features. So you've got these auxiliary lights and also a tactical mode as well, which I'll go through in more detail. And the great thing about this light as well is that it has a 3000 milliamp hour battery. So it's probably one of the few lights of this type of style that can handle a longer trip. So let's have a look at what you get in the box. So this is the box that the E30 Pro comes in, and basically you get an instruction manual, which I've left on the side. Here's a warranty card here at the back. You've got a USB charging cable. Also have a lanyard included, but very basic apart from the light itself. So I thought I would compare side by side the E30 Pro with a few other flashlights that I have with this sort of slab style, flat style design. Okay, here you've got the Olight Arcfield Pro Workhorse HD01. I've also got the Sofirn IF24, which, yeah, I would say it sort of fits into this category with these multifunctional flat style flashlights. So this one does have a removable battery. You've also got the Convoy S8 here just to compare it with a, a regular sized tube light that's around the same proportions. And yeah, as you can see, it's pretty similar to these two here. This is probably the larger, slightly larger, the E30 Pro, but there are some additional features here on the side with those LEDs as well. Okay, so a little close-up of the Rovivon E30 Pro. And the first thing that does stick out to me, especially when I got the light for the first time, is this coating. It's a light grayish color, feels surprisingly grippy as well. And this coating is applied using a technique called micro arc oxidation. Okay, so this is a pretty uncommon coating in the flashlight industry, but it does make the light stand out visually compared to a lot of other of those usual black anodized flashlights. The light has this rectangular style design, which is both easy to hold and pocket. It feels more comfortable than most of my tube flashlights, except maybe the smaller AA or AAA ones. It sits flat in your pocket. Got a clip near the back as well for tactical style carry. Easy access to that turbo switch there on the back, and there is onboard USB-C charging too, just underneath this port to the side. A little bit tricky to get it open, but there you go. And the buttons are all made out of metal, so very durable. You've got one on the side here, and you got two there on the back. I like how they've used different buttons here instead of just one button operating everything. It just makes it easier on you if you're separating out these functions. So this one only operates the auxiliary LEDs here on the side. Looking down the head of the flashlight, there are two LEDs, so dual LEDs, maybe SST40s in the head. I'm not sure what they are exactly. That's just what I'm guessing, but they do come with that dual TIR lens. There's a frosted section there in the middle as well, probably just to spread that beam out a bit, make it look nicer. You do also have a proximity sensor there in the center of the head, in case you're wondering what that dark spot is in the middle. On the side of the flashlight, there are a bunch of LEDs here. So you've got the red LED at the top, you've got a white LED, 4500K warm white, and you've got a 365 nanometer UV as well. So I'm really glad that they've included that 365 nanometer instead of a 395 nanometer, which I find produces too much visible light. You've also got 4 of these battery indicator lights here on the side. So when you switch on the light, it actually, you can sort of see them light up there, and especially when you're charging the light as well. Like I mentioned before, the E30 Pro comes with a 3000 milliamp hour battery in this light, which is very impressive considering how small it is. And you've got other lights such as the Nitecore EDC27, pretty much the same size of this light, but for some reason only half the capacity battery at 1700 milliamp hours. So this is definitely going to last you for a longer trip. All right, so let's go through the UI, and I'm going to show you the modes. So in order to access the tactical mode, okay, this is the tactical button, this sort of one that's recessed more. Okay, so you can tell the difference between the EDC switch and the tac button. So half press that tac button for turbo, okay? And the proximity sensor as well, this reminds me, well, it activates up until a certain point. So here it activates, let's say about maybe 20 centimeters or so. And full press for strobe, okay? Got a proper strobe mode in there, 3,500 lumens, really bright. The EDC mode, essentially what you do, single press in order to just access the normal eco mode. You can even press and hold to access eco mode, single press. So pretty much any kind of single press, you're just going to get that basic eco mode there. Now you need to double press it to access the memory mode, okay? And then you single press from there to just go up. So basically eco, low, medium, high. So if you want it to memorize this high mode here, just have it on high, press and hold to turn off, and then double press again to turn on, and it memorizes that high mode. In order to access all these auxiliary LEDs, you have to use this button here on the side, this recessed, tiny recessed button. Now one press of that button activates that white LED, that warm white. You can press it again to step it up to high. So basically just goes cycles low, high, okay, through single press and hold, turn it off. Now 2 presses from off will give you the red mode. And then again, single press to cycle. So that goes to a higher red mode. Got this sort of flashy mode there, bike flash mode. And then you've got this one here, maybe like a warning light or some kind of beacon mode. And it just goes right back to the beginning. Now the UV mode, access through 3 triple clicks, 1, 2, 3. Okay. You have it in just basically just one mode. Okay, so I ran a bunch of ceiling bounce tests here with the Rovivon E30 Pro, and you can see the lights when you activate it on turbo 3500 lumen mode, you get about 10 to 15 seconds before the light steps down to just under a third of the output. The good news is that you can just keep activating that turbo mode once it steps down. Got to a point around the 1 minute mark where it just wouldn't reactivate again. Okay, I then tried to reactivate around 1.5 minutes and it started up again. So there's got to be some type of temperature regulation module in there that just tells the light when it's safe to get back into that turbo mode. Ran a second ceiling bounce test here, and you can see just on the high mode, pretty much get 95 to 100% of output. I ran this test all the way past the 60-minute mark and really nice regulated output there. Also ran a bunch of tests using my Opal Lightmaster Pro, and you can see here on the turbo mode, managed to get 244 meters of throw. I didn't expect that, but of course these are just switch-on figures, but still very impressive for a light, one of these flat lights of this size. CRI range from 65 to 68, and the CCT range from 5,400 all the way to 6,100, so more on the cooler end. The E30 Pro produces a large, even hotspot, tons of spill, especially on the high modes to illuminate a wider area. And again, I was quite impressed with the throw figures for its size. For a flat style light like this without a proper reflector and larger lens, yeah, it was quite impressive that it managed to reach over 200 meters. So some considerations you need to be aware of course, that non-replaceable battery that might be a deal breaker for some of you. It's high capacity though, so it should hold up longer than other options out there. The second consideration is this proximity sensor. You can't deactivate it. I tried to look up ways to do it, but it doesn't seem to be an option. So this does make it less tactical in my opinion. If there's a threat close by and, close to you like that, it's just going to step down. But it does also make it a safer option if you're storing it in your pocket, in your bag, as there is no lockout function, and it's 3,500 lumens will definitely burn a hole in your pocket easily. The third consideration is that there is no magnet here. I mean, it would be nice if maybe they'd fit one on the side of the light or something like that, I think. Yeah, but it's just difficult to implement it on a light like this where there is a tactical tail switch. I mean, where do you put it? Anyway, overall, I never thought I'd buy into this kind of flashlight, this style of flashlight, and definitely more old school. And when I grab a light, I still prefer those tube style designs, but this one is pretty amazing because it's just so versatile. On one hand, it's got that 200+ meter range, 3,500 lumen output in the tactical mode, which I think is more than enough for self-defense, but it also has some lower modes in there as well that are separated out for general EDC use using this larger switch. And of course, all these auxiliary modes there as well can be quite useful for low light situations, extended use scenarios as well, where you just need light for a really long period of time. That UV mode might be useful if you work in security to verify documents. I'm not a fan of some of these lights that have really low capacity batteries squeezed in there. So I'm glad that this one is at least 3000 milliamp hours. So yeah, that is quite unusual. And I'm glad that, and I'm surprised they managed to fit one in here. So yeah, if you can deal with those considerations I mentioned before, I definitely recommend the E30 Pro. It's an excellent quality do-it-all flashlight that is adaptable to almost any situation. So if you have any questions, just let me know down below in the comments. I'll get back to you. If you like the video, you found it helpful, do me a favor and click the like button. It helps me to get my videos recommended to people. And if you want to see more flashlight reviews and keep up to date with the latest news, make sure you subscribe. Okay, I have got the Rovivon E30 Pro, and firstly I'm going to go and show you the TAC mode, 3500 lumens. This thing just lights up the entire golf course. It's so impressive. And there's the step down, very sudden step down, but you know, still pretty bright. You know, it's still kind of tinting those trees a little bit near the end. Okay. And remember, you can reactivate it pretty easily like that. Okay. If you're using it for short bursts, short momentary bursts, you know, strobe as well. Very easy to access. And I'll go on to just show you some of the other modes as well. So this is some of the memory modes. We'll just cycle through. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. So sort of 4 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the high mode. The high mode's pretty respectable. Tons of spill. Hotspot, there is a centralized hotspot, very large hotspot. And the great thing is that you can alternate. So say I'm on high and I press that tactical switch, so I can suddenly just light up an area really bright if I need to, or access strobe very quickly like that. Quite a versatile light, even if you're maybe on one of the lower modes like that, the medium mode, you know. Look at that. Go to light up a section, an area pretty quick. Okay. We'll go for a bit of a walk. Alright, Rovivon E30 Pro, and straight on to turbo, 3500 lumens. Geez, this thing just absolutely illuminates the whole path. You've got a beam that's 180 degrees all the way into your peripherals as well. Look at that. Turn on that strobe. Now what I'll do is that I'll go stick this on the high mode. That doesn't step down, this is just high. And that, I mean, this is where I think they really impressed me. Having a proper high mode of above 1,000 lumens and no step down. No step down, and just a little warmth, that's it. Nice little hand warmer. Back to that 3,500 lumen mode. RGBs. And what I really like doing is actually going between that high mode here and the 3500 lumen tack mode. That's really quite handy if I just need to activate it for a second.